Hello students, welcome back in the online teaching of St. Thomas School, Mahua, Standard 8, Subject English, Unit 2. Let me sum up. So my dear students, in previous session, we have discussed activity number 3. In that, we saw question tag. Okay, that PDF also I sent. I hope you might have completed. Now today let us see activity number 4. In the last unit you learned about a type of summary that is about a source, is neutral, references the source, starts with the main idea of the source. In the last unit, that means in the first unit about Tom Sawyer, which we have already discussed, in that we have seen these all points. We have seen that some of the thing about the source we have seen, then neutral point we have seen, then reference the source, that also we have seen, and fourth one starts with the main idea of the source. This 4 point we saw in that chapter. You learn to write one strong sentence to start a summary. We have learned about how to start, how to write one strong sentence when we start any summary. Then the last thing you need for summary for a few details from the source that show. Last thing you need for summary, when we are concluding in a summary, for that we need a few details from the source, from the main person, okay, that we have to learn at the last few sentences when we write, last thing we write in detail. Then how the author express the main idea in that story about Tom Sawyer. We saw that how author was expressing the main idea. It should not include idea that don't explain the main idea, and in that it should not include idea when we are expressing the idea. In that it should not include the idea that don't explain the main idea. Main idea might have not explained in that chapter according to the writer. Now read the summary of O. Henry's story after 20 years. In first semester, the lesson which we saw after 20 years written by O. Henry. That summary we have seen. While reading, notice that the summary is first is about the source, second is neutral, third references the source, fourth starts with the main idea of the source, and fifth contains a few details that tell how the author expressed his main idea. In that theme, in that story about after 20 years written by O. Henry, these 5 things we have to keep in mind when we are making summary. This thing we have to notice. In that about source it is mentioned, about neutral it is mentioned, about references of sources are given. We are starting with the main idea of the source, and which contains a few details that tell how the author expresses his main idea. That is also given in that. O. Henry's story after 20 years, written around 1905. This O. Henry's book after 20 years was written in 1905, has the typical O. Henry trick ending. Very typically he ended, in which the reader and the main character are both surprised. The reader also surprised, because we were thinking that this man who was waiting and this man who was coming to meet, they will be meeting, because after 20 years they are meeting, so they will meet happily, they will leave. But We were surprised, readers were surprised, and a person who was waiting that when he will meet his friends will meet, and whoever he is, he will forget everything and they will have a good life. But here, the friend to whom he was waiting, he was a policeman, and he sent one policeman, another policeman to catch him. So different end was that surprised us. The story begins with a conversation between a policeman and a man who is waiting outside a restaurant for a man he hasn't seen in 20 years. Here, one man, when the story starts, in that we saw there was one conversation took place between a policeman and a stranger who was waiting outside at the restaurant for his friend. After 20 years, they are going to meet. The two discuss the friend that the man is waiting for. They were discussing, and in that, one person was saying that I am waiting for here my friend, to whom I told that we will meet here. The policeman recognized the man as a wanted man. The policeman understood that this man to whom he was talking, he was a wanted man, he was waiting for, he was a criminal. The policeman recognized the man as a wanted criminal, but until the man is arrested, neither the man nor the reader know that the policeman is himself the man's friend. But once he was caught, once the policeman sent another policeman to catch, neither the person who was waiting and or a reader, they could understand. They did not understand that what will happen at the end, but at the end we came to know, but that was surprise that this man was caught. Notice that the main idea is that the main character and the reader are both surprised, both were surprised in this. Notice that the summary that gives three details that show how O. Henry surprised us. These three details. It is given here three things which surprise us. Okay, so that I have given in a PDF form that you can complete, you can write. Okay, new words which are found that I will give later on. New words I will give afterwards. But remaining all explanation I have given, you can see and you can complete in your fair notebook. So my dear student, till here we will see today. Remaining activity we will see later on. So thank you very much. Goodbye.